Well, hi everyone, it's Pete here from the Pain Toolkit, and hey, guess what? I've got a new friend. My new friend,
Yay.
my new friend is called Helen Roome, all the way from South Africa. Now, I've been tracking. Sounds a bit odd, a bit not stalking her, but I come across Helen maybe a year or two ago. Helen might be about it. Am I right?
I think so, Pete.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
we're online friends.
yeah. And I've always been impressed with the information that Helen's has posted about OT pain management. But listen, Helen, let's get into the having a little chat with each other now. Can you tell the viewers and listeners about a little bit about yourself and why did you get into you know with an OT getting involved with the pain management stuff?
Right. Well, that is a big question, Pete, and I'll try and keep it shortish. So I am an occupational therapist for over 25 years now, but really got into the pain management field only about 8 years ago.
Mm.
And I would say that journey started on a more personal note, in that at the time I had a few close friends diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And as a health practitioner, I hadn't come across fibromyalgia that often. It still seemed rare, but then I had these close friends who were diagnosed, and I think it was compassion for them and trying to understand what they were experiencing that sort of drew me in. So I would say compassion drew me in, but then the complexity of not just fibromyalgia, but chronic pain, so persistent pain as a whole, that got my curiosity going. So I always talk about compassion and curiosity as my motivating um, drives. And so the journey started with fibromyalgia, and it didn't end with fibromyalgia; it continues. But of course, I then needed to become more competent. So as an OT, I did some postgraduate studies in pain management, and I pretty much now work only with people living with persistent pain and fatigue, and try and bring as an OT a very practical, very functional, activity-based approach to living despite pain, living beyond pain.
Yeah. Listen, occupational therapy. So I think you've got a massive part to play in pain self-management because, and I'm not sure. I mean, I can only think of a handful of OTs that I know that are involved in pain management, and
Right.
I never really come across the OTs until I went on the pain management program, and I found that the information that they was giving me on the program was really useful. But tell me a little bit more. So in South Africa, is um,
Mm.
is pain management is it quite well known there? Is it, or is it still trying to find its
Huh.
feet?
I think the pain community in South Africa is growing, and I think the diversity of the pain community is growing. So currently, I'm the chairperson of the OT Pain Management Group of South Africa, and in our South African chapter of the International Association for the Study of Pain, IASP, occupational therapists now make up the fourth largest sort of
Wow.
membership of that local chapter. And I think, as you say, and you're such a great supporter of OTs, Pete, thank you for that. Um, I think OTs are perfectly positioned as essential members of the team because of, I think, our ability to take what people know they should or can be doing to manage pain and tell them how, support them in how to do it. Very often, I'm sure my fellow OTs would say the same. Someone comes to me after living with pain for years, and they know a lot already. They're knowledgeable, they're experienced, they've heard it all,
Mm.
but what they're struggling with is the how. So it's like they dump a bag of strategies on the desk in front of me, and they say, I know I should be moving more. I know I need to look after sleep. I know I need to be pacing myself, but I don't know how to do it. And I don't know how to put it into my daily life. And I think as occupational therapists, that's what we bring to the team, is we know how to help people put habits into their daily life, turn strategies into
Yeah.
habits,
I, I,
and self-management, which is your huge topic. That's what OTs can really contribute to.
yeah, I mean, you said a couple of things there that really resonate with me because I think when OTs they say they look at the practical side, you know, how to do things, and there was another word you used at the beginning of you where you said about being curious, and now that's the
Mm-hmm.
third time I've heard that being used in by a healthcare professional in the last 2 weeks because the other week I watched a video from a patient down in Tasmania. I think
Mm-hmm.
she's with the police there, but she'd had pain, etc. And she was doing a TED talk, and
Right.
talking about she felt for her to get better, she had to start being curious. And
Mm.
I thought, well,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. Yeah, I like that. And then, you know, our good buddy down here in New Zealand, Bronnie Thompson. Now she said it the
Right.
other day. That this, you know, the word curious. Now you said it. I'm saying to myself, and I think, yeah, I think that's what in the next pain talking conversations we're actually going to talk about being curious, like you know. So,
Right.
and I
Right.
think it's yeah, and I think with a lot of people with pain, we need to be more curious about what are the things that we can do to help ourselves. But you know, with the support of you guys, like you know, because I think, you know, when a lot of people with pain, long term pain, you know, we get like fog brain and stuff like that, you know, where we
Mm.
forget things and stuff like that, and I
Right.
think that the
Right.
practicalities of OTs. But I mean, are you obviously you're in agreement with me that we need more OTs in pain management?
Definitely. And I think as I said earlier, it's about helping people with the how part. It's about supporting self-management, and it's about focusing on life around pain. It's about bringing a sense or renewing a sense of purpose and meaning in the activities that people do. So OTs believe that people are shaped by the activities they engage in rather than the symptoms they experience.
Mm,
So with pain, I feel that an important part of what OTs can do is just renew a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning, a sense that someone is more than a collection of symptoms, more than a condition, more than a label.
mm,
And the curiosity comes into that, Pete, because I think curiosity can help us as health practitioners overcome sometimes our intimidation at certain conditions. Fibromyalgia is my go-to example. People are intimidated by a label.
mm,
They're intimidated by the idea of chronicity. And
mm,
actually, if we are just curious about the person in front of us, we can get past any fancy label, we can get past any scary cluster of symptoms and just reach the person and the life that they're trying to live and support that. And I think that's partly what my book is about. I know we're going to talk about my book in another video, but it's about saying there is life beyond pain, and how can I support you in getting back to that or reaching closer to that by turning strategies into daily habits, by giving you the how, not just the what of self-management.
I love it. So listen, we're going to do another video soon on about your book. I've seen you. I've looked at it on when you've been posting bits from it on
Right.
LinkedIn, etc., and on social media. So I'm curious about what's in it. So we'll do it in that next video. We'll go into that bit more detail. So what would be
Super.
so say for example you're seeing this is like a take-home message. So what would be a take-home message for colleagues of yours, like other healthcare professionals about pain self-management? What would be your take-home messages for them?
Oh, wow. Um, Firstly, I would say that it's humans that help heal humans, not professionals. So we need to get back to the humanity of our profession and recognize the humanity in people that come to us for help. Secondly, I would say that we've got to start learning from, I know you don't like this word necessarily, Pete, but lived experience. We've got to start
Oh,
learning from the expertise.
yeah.
Um, okay, let me put it differently. We've got to learn from the experts by experience. So
Okay.
people living with pain have a lot to tell us about what it's like. We need to be supporting self-management in this partnership, because that's really what's going to take someone beyond our sessions, our consultations, our therapeutic relationship even. So those are some of the things that are important to me to emphasize.
And so for the people with limb resistant pain, what would be your take-home message for them, so that people are looking at this and thinking, well, this sounds quite interesting. How do I become curious?
How do you become curious?
Yeah.
Well, so so I would encourage people to not just take the science on board that they might be reading and researching for themselves, but develop self-reflection and self-understanding and combine those two things. So not just what is my condition, what are the symptoms, what is pain, and what does it mean, but how does it connect with me and my story and my future? Um, and then how do I create the kind of life I want to live? So like I said earlier, for me, self-management, in a way, I don't like pain management as a term. I'm trying to find a better term, and I'm thinking about life management.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
because I feel that people need to be encouraged to look at what is the kind of life I want to live. How do I create that? I create it through habits, through a lifestyle that supports my well-being. This is a huge subject, but I want people to be curious about what kind of life do I want to live, because you can, if you turn those strategies and that science and that self-understanding into a new way of living.
Fantastic. Well done, Helen. It's finally nice to meet up with you, and thanks very much.
Great to meet in person, Pete. Yeah,
And thanks for taking time out of your day to make this video. Listen, guys,
thank you.
I'm intrigued by this young lady I've got in front of me. Well, she's on screen actually. She's in front of me on the screen. But I'm getting a bit. I want to learn a bit more about her. So I'm definitely curious about this book that she's written. So thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you again on another Pain Talk interview and video. Take care. See you later, guys. Ciao.